Trevor Bauer is now available. First questions from Kirsten Watson. Go ahead.
Hey, Trevor. In that first inning there, you had 3 walks and 1 hit by pitch. I imagine that an outing like that can be really frustrating. But knowing that it's only spring training, is there anything that you can take away from that inning?
Yeah, I wasn't super frustrated. I was just kind of like trying to figure out what was going on. And like you said, it's spring training, so not too worried about it. What I'm pleased with is I was able to lock it in after that and get back in a groove. Second inning was a little bit shaky as well, but by the third and the fourth, I had locked it in pretty well and felt like I had better command and better feel of the game and was kind of getting on a roll. So happy with that part of it for sure.
And what would you mind sharing just the adjustments that you did have to make and really what you were feeling, since I know that you are so in tune with your body and being able to read that?
Yeah, I mean, so the first inning I couldn't, like, my right eye wasn't really like focusing well for whatever reason. So I did some like CO2 exhalation stuff, kind of locked that back in. Not sure if it was the lighting or what it was, but it kind of felt like my head was swimming. So I got that locked back in, and then my delivery was just out of whack too a little bit in the first. I was rushing a little bit, probably trying to throw a little bit too hard out of the gate. It's something obviously I've emphasized this spring, is trying to make sure that I step on the velocity pedal a little bit, just to make sure that I'm in the ranges I need to be. So legs were a little bit tired today after I reintroduced sprints to my routine day before yesterday. So legs are a little bit tired after doing that. All just part of spring training though, getting the body ready to go and cycling and getting ready for spring training. Getting ready for the season.
Next question's from Dave Vesey. Go ahead.
Hey, Trevor, I know you've had some fun about having to hit this year, but at some point soon, do you want to take some hacks in a game before the regular season starts?
Not really. I will. I'll talk to the coaches about it, but no.
Have you done anything besides bunting on the backfields to get reacquainted with it?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Next question is from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Trevor, I guess to follow up on that, what was the last time you hit sort of regularly?
I guess 2019. I mean, when I got traded to the Reds, I had to hit the last 2 months of the year. So I think I actually got a hit, maybe 2, 1. So yeah, 2019.
Yeah, 49 career plate appearances. Yeah,
you kind of broke up. What's that?
So you had 49 career plate appearances. You had 3 hits that year, it says here on Baseball Reference.
Gotcha. Yeah, 3 more than I thought I'd get in my big league career.
I don't know. I'm sure you saw what Blake Snell said the other day about the balls, the seam being raised, and not carrying as much. Have you noticed anything about the balls in your outings?
I didn't see what Blake said. Also, I mean, I haven't noticed anything as far as throwing them. And this is the first time I've really pitched at Camelback Ranch consistently. So I really don't know, have an understanding of like how the ball does normally or like carries normally here. So no, I really haven't noticed a whole lot. But there's a lot of variables right now, so it's hard to pinpoint kind of like if one is true or not.
Thank you.
Next question's from Jesse Sanchez. Go ahead, Jesse.
Hey, Trevor, you mentioned something with an eye issue. Has that happened before, or how concerning is that?
That's not concerning at all. Yeah, it's happened to me before. It's just like hasn't happened in spring training this year. So, but yeah, it's not concerning at all.
So what happens when that happens to your eye? How do you get back to focusing?
Sometimes I just close it.
Okay.
Next question's from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Trevor, we talked before, we talked about all the investment you make in yourself in analysis and technology and being open to all those things. How unique do you think you are among major league pitchers in that aspect?
I'm not sure really. Obviously, I don't know anywhere close to all of the major league pitchers and what they do. I know that generally speaking, I'm more into it than the people that I'm surrounded by. But it's really hard to speak on the population as a whole, just because I don't know what anyone else does really.
Would you be surprised to find out that you were very unique?
I wouldn't be surprised if I was the most unique one. I also wouldn't be surprised if there was someone that was as into it or more into it as I am.
Thanks.
Next question's from Brooks Smith. Go ahead, Brooks.
Hey, Trev, apologize if this was already asked, but a big topic right now is the minor league rule with the shifts. And I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on MLB potentially looking at changing the rules on shifting infielders.
I haven't heard, what is the rule? I haven't heard any about it.
Basically, at the AA level, they're testing out making sure that infielders can't leave the infield grass and that there has to be 4 infielders in the infield at all times. So just limiting shifts.
Oh, I'm usually in favor of allowing the game to kind of adapt naturally. So, if you shift, and it'll take a couple years for hitters to adapt to it, but there's a lot of free hits out there. That's generally where I fall, but I really don't have a strong opinion on it. I know, like in other sports, they've done stuff that's helped the game. The NBA limited the ability to play zone and stuff like that. So I really don't have a strong opinion on it one way or the other, but I'm usually in favor of allowing the game to adapt on its own.
They had also said that they were testing out a automated strike zone. Do you have a strong opinion on that one way or another?
Yeah, I mean, I personally would like it. I think hitters would hate it. I don't know if the technology is there yet or not. I don't know, but I think there'd be a lot more strikes called, especially if it's a 3D strike zone, which I'm hoping it would be. Someone like Chris Sale, who throws a big sweeping slider that catches the down and away corner to a lefty, the ball's going to end up bouncing by the time it hits the catcher, darn near it, and it's going to be called a strike. So there'd be some oddities with it for sure. But yeah, again, I don't really have a strong opinion on that one way or the other. So I can see it from both sides.
You got time for one more. Go ahead, JP.
Hey, Trevor, not on the topic of today, but I'm writing about force plates. I know you've been a force plate user for some time now. What specifically do you find useful about them, and how helpful have they been to your durability in your career?
I'm really useful for, I primarily use them for daily, testing of, where my body's at. I do jumps on them daily, so I understand where my central nervous system's at and how ready I am to train. It's just one of the markers that I use though. I also use them for like mid-thigh pulls, and I use them a lot in the off season to understand, like force production on squats or deadlifts, especially as I'm trying to lift for speed with a bar speed measure. I use my gym aware and my force plates kind of in combination a lot. Depth drops. I use them for a lot of different stuff. It just gives another data point to understand what you're getting out of your training, compare session to session, and also like compare where my body's at day to day. So they've been super helpful. Don't need them to be successful, but certainly helpful when I do have them.
And what was the first time in your career you can remember the team that you played for having its own force plates in-house?
Oh, it was the Indians, I think, in 2017 maybe. But I know force plates have been around for a while. The Reds got some. I know a lot of other teams have had them. Primarily though, they're kind of the in-ground force plates from what I understand that don't really travel. So they're mostly like in labs. So they're a lot more accurate when they're like that, but a lot less practical and a lot less usable. So as far as like the mobile ones that I use that I can jump on every day and travel with, that's kind of like a new occurrence, probably back to 2017, I would guess.